Hello guys and welcome to our Vietnam question and answer / live stream that's not actually live.
Welcome everybody.
So if you're new here, we do these for every country and it's just essentially a way for us to kind of connect with you guys, answer your questions that you've had on the country and just have a chit chat.
Tell you what to do and what not to do.
Exactly. So we usually start off with a rough guide as to where we went in Vietnam. So this one was a bit of a strange itinerary just because our friends came out to see us. So we just picked our favourite parts in Vietnam rather than doing like the usual.
I think it was a fairly...
But we did it quick, but we spent longer in each destination.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. So it was kind of like more of a chilled backpacking itinerary, I'd say. Which was actually nice. Instead of moving around every 3 days, we probably stayed everywhere like on average 5-6 days.
Which was really nice. We took it really slow. So we arrived in Ho Chi Minh, had one night there, and then we flew to Phu Quoc, stayed there for 5 nights or something.
5 nights, yeah.
Yeah. Had to then obviously fly back to Ho Chi Minh, spent another few nights there, and then we flew up to Hoi An. We loved Hoi An, so we ended up staying way longer than expected.
We ended up actually extending there, didn't we? So I think we booked 4 nights to like chill, and we were like, we're not leaving.
Yeah, so I think we spent a week, didn't we?
Yeah, we spent a week in Hoi An.
And we did a day trip to
Da Nang from there, yeah.
From Hoi An as well.
Yeah, it's a good place to explore Da Nang, isn't it? From as well.
And then we went up to Hanoi. We spent loads of time in Hanoi because obviously we do all of the trips from there. So we spent like a week.
A week, yeah. Best part of a week there.
Yeah, a week in Hanoi. Then we went and we did a day trip to the Halong Bay. Well, we did a day trip to Halong Bay, not to the Halong Bay.
Well, it is technically the Halong Bay.
And then we also did, of course, the Hai Giang Loop, which was epic. And then weirdly, our friends left, we did all of that, and then we went back down to Ninh Bình just before we flew out. So, bit of a strange itinerary, but we thought it was quite good.
I think we probably ticked off probably 2/3 of like the main destinations to do. Do you know what I mean? But I think there was a chunk in the middle that we skipped from Ho Chi Minh to Hoi An, so we skipped like Dalat, Nha Trang, Hue. Hugh, my pal Hugh. But yeah, it was really, really good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like on the trip that me and Abby first met 5-6 years ago.
We did Vietnam and we did it in detail. We literally did the whole night buses and did loads and loads of stops. But to be honest, we've done so many countries that it's hard to remember like all of the details and stuff.
Yeah, I think we've done like more stops, but we moved around quicker.
Yeah.
I'd actually say I probably enjoyed this trip a little bit more. Actually.
Yeah. Vietnam is such an epic country. Like I think the highlight of it in general is just the fact that it's so activity based. So if you're up for like trekking, being in the mountains, like nature, all of that stuff, Vietnam is like the perfect country for all of that stuff. So that's kind of our overview of Vietnam. Anyway, let's get into the questions. So we asked you guys on Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, go over there and click follow now.
As usual, I'm what do the kids say these days? I'm raw dogging this.
So Gaz doesn't know their questions.
I don't like to know the questions before because I feel like Abby goes through them and comes up with answers where like I feel like you need to be able to go.
Don't come up with answers, but like, at least
you've
have
got
an idea.
notes here.
I'm not good with thinking on the spot.
Nah, that's our personalities though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm
organised.
It'll be fine. We'll just turn up.
And I'm super organised.
Right.
But anyway, no, and we also asked you guys on YouTube community posts as well, just in case anyone's watching this for the first time and they think, where do people ask these questions? Instagram, YouTube community post. Go over there next time.
Don't you just make them up to sound good, no?
No. Right, first question. This is a very, very niche question. So it is...
Oh yes, start with the nichest one that no one will be interested in, apart from one person.
Okay, a place or area in the north which you think or have heard about that is a must-see aside from the usual Hanoi, Hai Giang Loop, Cat Ba, etc. So obviously we didn't do anywhere that was slightly off the beaten track this trip. So me being me, went away and researched because I always want to make sure I can answer all of your questions even if we haven't done it yet. So one place that is a little bit off the beaten track and not many people do is, I've wrote it down, Phu Long, which apparently is really good for hiking, rice fields, and just being in the community of like village life in Vietnam, etc. So there you go.
Well,
we've not been, but
I'd
it
say
looks
the
good.
one thing that I still haven't done in Vietnam, and it's like killing me inside, it's absolutely destroying me. I don't know if it's in the north or not, but it's the duck stop where you play with all the ducks.
Yeah, that That is, I've written that down somewhere.
Phong Nha.
Phong Nha.
That's in Phong Nha.
It's still the north, kind of.
Yeah, that's like the one thing, like everyone says, like you just throw a load of duck food and they jump on you. Anyway, but it's meant to be really good.
Yeah.
But right, come on, hit me with some questions.
Next question, so hopefully that answers your questions. We are off to Phu Quoc and Hoi An in March. Any must-dos? Oh, we've got so much for Hoi An especially. But let's start with Phu Quoc because we started.
Yeah, let's start with Phu Quoc. So it was good, but I wouldn't say it was my favourite place in Vietnam. But I think it felt like a tourist destination that was more tailored towards Vietnamese and Chinese tourists. So we went to a few bars that like were meant to have backpackers and went to a few places like that people said to go to on like backpacking articles and stuff, and we actually didn't really find anyone there. But then we spoke to someone on the Hai Giang Loop, and they said like they saw loads of people there, so it might just have been our luck. But
we did go out on a Sunday as well, so that's probably
it's backpacking.
I don't know if Sunday makes a difference to people, but anyway.
It's backpacking, and it was the England game. But anyway, the best thing.
What was that beach called? Sao Beach. That was like the most beautiful beach in Phu Quoc. That was a really cool, chilled out day. There was a Highlands coffee on the beach, which was quite nice. It's like having a Starbucks spot on the beach. It was like a fun little experience.
That was when we didn't realise how much of a chain it was, and we're like, oh my god, this local Vietnamese coffee on the beach. But it was pretty cool, wasn't it?
We still love Highlands coffee, FYI. It's still.
But surely the number one thing to do is Vin Wonders.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so we
That's
tried,
the best thing to do.
Oh yeah, we tried to do a video for you guys, but they were so strict on every ride about filming. Like everyone was
tried to like sneak the GoPro on like a wrist thing below a jumper, and he was like, "What's that on your arm? What's that big wristwatch?"
I completely forgot about Vin Wonders.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an epic day out. That was really fun.
But it's obviously, I think that's the thing with Phu Quoc. Like, there was obviously the old prison, which was like cool to walk around with, but it was, just an hour. There's loads of good seafood to eat.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
the night market as well.
The night market, but ultimately, like, it wasn't very like rural, authentic Vietnam, was it? Like,
no, it's quite touristy. Yeah, but for Asian tourists, not for like Western tourists. But that's fine because it's just.
But Vin Pearl World was like, just do that. But yeah, that was really good. And then Hoi An, where do we start?
Oh my gosh, everything.
I would go back there. To work. Firstly, if you were going to book a hostel, we've stayed in a few of them now, but stay in Phu's Beach Hostel.
Yeah, that was one of the best we've ever stayed in Southeast Asia.
And we were travelling with our friends, and we booked a private room, which was essentially like a hotel room, where it was a little bit more expensive for hostel rooms, but it was essentially like a hotel with a vibe around it. There was a beach club opposite. You could get like beer towers. The beach was actually really nice. I didn't really realise how nice it was last time.
I was going to say, one of my recommendations for Hoi An is to stay at the beach, but then travel into the old town if you want to spend a lot of time there, because you can have your chilled beach days and then obviously go and explore the old town as well, which is like, I think just wandering around the streets of the old town is just an experience in itself. The food, the coffee chains, just watching everything unfold on the street.
Costs next to nothing to get a grab bike or like a free transfer from the hostel in. So I'd say do that. We've done the coconut boats.
I think that was an experience and you should do it, but also it is a little bit gimmicky. Like it's very fun, but it's not very like, we're floating down a nice peaceful river. It's very like, tourists, sing and dance, let's have fun. But we just embraced and leaned into that, and that actually we had a laugh, didn't we? It just got very hot by the end.
It was hot, and they spun. We didn't even pay to get spun around properly, but I spun around a little bit, and I just went white and wanted to throw up. I was like, get me home.
Everyone was struggling slightly.
And then, obviously, you can go to Da Nang from
Hoi An.
From Hoi An. Everyone's different, but I personally wouldn't bother staying in both places. And we've stayed in Da Nang before. I think Hoi An's a lot, for me, more comfortable. I think it's a lot nicer, a lot less busy, the beach even.
But I think going to do a day trip to Da Nang is definitely worth your time. So going to Da Nang, we don't know if you're going to go and do the
Ban An Hills.
Look at the weather before you go. Obviously, we had a really traumatic, just stressful day when we went there, so we wouldn't ever go back. But obviously, you've got to go.
It was just minging, wasn't it?
If it was sunny, if we weren't going to get hit by lightning on a cable car, all of that kind of stuff that happened that day obviously tainted our view of it. But obviously if the weather was good, our whole view could have been completely different. So don't take our word for it, but just know that you could get bad weather and look into it before you go as well.
Right, we need to move on to the next question. I've just realised.
Also, just for you guys who do want more details on Vietnam, etc., we have a travel planner and guide that will have our Vietnam travel guide in the next few days. I'll drop it in the comments below to let you know when it's been updated.
Our top tips, our must-dos.
Yeah, so we already have 7 travel guides within our travel planner and guide, already updated from different countries, and then Vietnam will be our 8th guide within the planner, and also it has loads of different tabs for you to plan your trips, etc. All of the tips we've just given you now will have loads more details on Vietnam in that, so if you want that package, then check out the link in the description and I'll let you know when it's live for Vietnam.
And the best thing is, when we go to a new country, for now anyway, we're adding the new tips. So you pay once and then you get all the future countries as well, which is good.
So anyone who bought this originally would have had 6 travel guides, and then now they're going to have 8, and it just keeps getting updated. So it's a fantastic product. Check it out in the comments below. Anyway, next question. Where was your favourite part of Vietnam, and if you could only go to Vietnam or Thailand, which would you choose? Well, that's 2 questions. Favourite part of Vietnam, for me personally, was Hoi An. We were just so comfortable there, being by the beach, loads of stuff to do, loads of nice food. We were just so chilled out there, and it was just a fun time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. If I'm going to say somewhere else, what was it? Favourite part of Vietnam?
Yeah.
The Hai Giang Loop probably was, because everybody goes on about how good it is, and like genuinely it lived up to the hype for us. I think it goes one of 2 ways, doesn't it? Like you see stuff online that's like, it's a load of crap, like I don't know why people think it's good, or like people like absolutely loved it. But we had the best time for that. But if you want to learn more about the Hai Giang Loop, we're not going to go into it too much here, because we're going to do like a full guide on it basically. Yeah. Like, and everything you need to know about the Hai Giang Loop.
And also we've done 3 vlogs as well, so we did in great detail, didn't we?
We did.
And then if you could go to Thailand or Vietnam, which would you choose? Well, this completely depends on what kind of holiday you want. Like we said, Vietnam is adventure, it's outdoors, it's nature, and you can get that in Thailand as well. But Thailand's more beaches, chilling, drinking.
Yeah, but you've got to choose. You're trying not to choose. So what would you rather
it depends.
go to?
Yeah, but it depends on what mood I'm in.
And what mood are you in now then? Right this moment, where would you rather go to?
Well, I've just done Vietnam, so I'd go back to Thailand. But if you'd asked me before, if I was in an adventurous mood... No, it doesn't
say that. If you can only go to one.
What, forever? Probably Thailand for me, because I love the food.
Yeah, it's a trip. I'm just trying to make you make a choice.
Yeah, but I like both. Equally.
I'll say Vietnam then.
Different things for different countries. Depends on your mood. Adventure, Vietnam, chilled beach.
Why would you only go to one when they're so close to each other, and you can just travel from one to the other? Yeah. So whoever asked that question.
Right. We've got notes here. That's why we always looked at.
No, we're just completely bored. We're like, tired.
Best activity in Vietnam, obviously the Hai Giang Loop. Both of us
Yeah. Okay. What was the second best activity then? That's going to be the one that.
That's more of a tough one.
I actually really liked Ninh Binh.
Yeah.
Because we wasn't sure if we had time to go there, and we had 3 or 4 days after our after the Hai Giang Loop before our flight. And we were going to go back to Hanoi and just work and chill, but then we're like, let's just get the bus straight from Hai Giang to Ninh Binh. And I think for me that was the perfect way to end the trip.
It was so chilled.
The scenery there, like just cruising on like a scooter or a bicycle,
hiking.
I'd say Ninh Binh was kind of the one that surprised me the most, that actually have really good memories of.
And if you go to Ninh Binh, you have to go to the karaoke bus, which is in the town of Tam Kok, which is where everyone stays. It was such a funny night.
Bring your earplugs, because no one can sing there.
It's just such a funny night. Like, you don't even have to buy a drink, and you're in this like school bus singing karaoke.
And then insert clips of us singing Here Now.
Yes, that's our 2. I agree with you there on Ninh Binh. Hai Giang Loop and Ninh Binh were really, really good experiences for us. How does Vietnamese food compare to other countries you've been in? Now, if you'd asked us at the beginning of the trip, when we only knew about pho and banh mi, we wouldn't really.
No, I could eat banh mi's all day, every day.
But then we did that food tour and we learned so much more about Vietnamese cuisine. So there was like mi quang. That was that other thing that we tried in the Hai Giang Loop that was like sausage patties, dip in sauce and rice noodles. That's really tasty. So at first it's kind of intimidating because you don't know what the food is. It's quite meat heavy.
It's quite, I'd say it's like meat and very like lots of like fresh vegetables, but like I'd say from the UK, I know we've got probably the worst reputation for food, but like everything's really cooked. Like if you have a vegetable and stuff,
it's fried, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fried.
In oil.
And like when you've got like a soup with like, lots of fresh leaves in it, you kind of like it at first. But I would say I like Vietnamese food, but I'm fairly fussy with, not fussy, but
fussy.
I like what I like. I'd say Vietnamese food was good. Thai food's my favourite, and it was up there like with some of the other countries have been. Not my favourite, but there was never a day where I was like, what am I going to eat? Like I absolutely love banh mi's. That's just like a meat sandwich, isn't it?
Yeah, you eat like 40 a day. But top tip, I'd say for Vietnam on food, if you're like a little bit like intimidated by new foods, 100% do a food tour because they're so fun, aren't they?
It just makes you more intimidated.
No,
they're like here's some fermented uncooked meat to eat.
No, but like other stuff.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Mi quang, we wouldn't have known about that, and then we ate that, and then that was like one that I really liked.
Yeah, and like learn about the different types of soups and stuff. So I think it will make it easy for you to order stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? Because you know if it's like a dry soup or a wet soup.
We try and do like a food tour right at the beginning of every trip, so that we learn the cuisine, so that the rest of the month we
that's a top tip for like if you're going backpacking in the country, do a food tour
first week
when you get there, or try to do a food tour like in the capital city or a big city.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Any regrets? I've actually put 2 down there. So Phong Nha, which is the duck stop that you said, like not regretting it, but if we could have fit that in, that would have been really good because we've never done there before, and it's like hiking and outdoors, naturey stuff. So regret would be missing that out.
Yeah.
And the other one would obviously be the Ba Na Hills day, not looking into the weather, not planning ahead with that, probably not looking into the details of it and all that kind of stuff. I think that day was obviously not the best, and I think with maybe just a little bit more planning from our side, it might have been a bit better.
It was just really expensive, wasn't it? And we got absolutely nothing out of it. We made it fun for ourselves. Like obviously when it was raining, we were laughing and stuff. But obviously when we got into the cable car, that was actually like what, 35 quid per person to not see anything and get rained on. So it was.
But we could blame ourselves in that situation. But obviously we couldn't have blamed ourselves when it came to the cable car. Like we shouldn't have been allowed on that. So my regret there would probably have just been a bit more planning and forward planning.
But it was hot when we left in the morning and sunny. Like.
I mean, you can go around in circles, can't you? But I guess not going to Phong Nha and then probably maybe a bit more planning for Da Nang. And maybe going back to Da Nang and actually exploring the city centre might have been a bit better because we didn't really have much time / we were exhausted by the end of that day to even look around. So we were just kind of done, weren't we?
Yeah, but no, generally I think it was a really good trip, and I don't regret going at the pace that we did because I wasn't actually knackered for once. Usually when we're like proper travelling, I'm just shattered from like working all the time and travelling and drinking and thinking, but like I was actually quite chilled the whole time along, so no regrets from my side.
Okay, very positive, Gaz. Well done. It's not usually this positive.
Right, I'm just getting some water, one sec.
You keep fidgeting loads.
Do I?
Yeah.
Are you going to cut that
out? No. Any tips for first timers coming to Vietnam? I would say we flew a lot because we were on a tighter schedule with our friends, and so we flew from Ho Chi Minh to Phu Quoc back to Ho Chi Minh to Hoi An to Hanoi. But the sleeper buses, especially if you upgrade to VIP, I know a lot of our audience are like our age, we kind of want to have like a little bit more luxury. If you upgrade to VIP, I would argue is much nicer than flying completely because it's comfortable. So I'd say like if you are a first timer coming to Vietnam, if you have a time is not of the essence, make your way up by bus, like take that slowly. enjoy that and the.
Do you know what's funny? I'm going to say completely the opposite.
Oh.
But that's why we're different people. No, I 100% agree on the the buses. One of my tips would be, if you're going to get a night bus, just pay for the VIP, because like I actually slept like a baby on them, like, and I don't usually sleep on the buses.
Yeah.
So it's like an extra couple of quid. But I actually enjoyed like flying between the main stops, because like the instead of spending 15 hours on a bus, we were there in
I kind of like the buses.
We were there in an hour. But I guess that's down to you, like two options. And the other. Oh, go on, after you. You keep talking over me today.
Because you don't let me get a word in edgeways.
You don't let me get words in edgeways.
Right, he's been speaking more than me today.
I'm
like desperate to speak, and he's like,
Abby, you never shut up. People want to hear from me.
Okay, go on then, you go.
No, I don't know what I was going to say now.
I was just going to say the other top tip would be book a food tour when you first arrive, as we said earlier.
I was going to say the opposite. No joke.
And then also, it is good to be able to drive a motorbike in Vietnam, so if you can get any form of like practicing before, or like obviously learn not in the cities, like don't drive in the big cities, but having a motorbike and knowing how to ride a motorbike is actually really good. So if you're in the UK and you do want to do that, do a lesson, or like I would do a lesson, but Gaz would probably just wing it. But yeah, maybe look into that and make sure you get your international driving license, guys. We've got ours now. Whoop whoop.
Well, you've not got yours, have you?
No, I don't have mine. I don't drive.
You're a passenger princess.
I'm a scaredy cat. Anything else for first timers?
No, all good. So is that like the end of the actual
Vietnam questions?
Vietnam questions, yeah. And if you've got any more questions, just drop us a comment and we'll obviously answer. But then maybe next time, like, pay attention to Instagram and community, and then your question will get answered. So
okay, we got some personal questions, so obviously we'd kind of just do these questions.
What's this say? Abby, how did you manage to bag a guy as good looking as Gaz after Abby?
Shut up.
Oh no, okay, must have read that wrong.
Any tips on how to make money while travelling other than YouTube? Well, my full-time job is YouTube, so I'll leave Gaz.
Find something that you like to do and do it.
No, go on.
I don't know.
Well,
you need to find, to start with, you need to be doing a job that you can do online and remotely. So obviously there's like, if you're like a quantity surveyor or something, or like a construction worker, then you're going to find it a little bit harder to make like the transition to online working. But if you're doing something already,
like digital marketing,
like, digital marketing is really easy, like web development, graphic design, etc. So you need to be able to do something that if you was just on your laptop, could it work? And then so that's number one. And then what I'd say is, like, if you're planning on doing it, don't just go, oh, you know what, I'm going to leave on a month's time, and then I'm going to get some clients. Like, start like in your spare time at home, getting clients and getting used to stuff. For like a year before I went freelance, I always done bits on the side, but I was starting to build up like freelance contacts and stuff. So when I actually left my job, I could jump straight into it.
Yeah.
So I'd say, and if you're doing something that you can't do on your laptop now, maybe just try a few things.
Start to learn, yeah.
But yeah, don't just, well, it's up to you, but I wouldn't just try and do like, don't pay for a stupid expensive course of somebody saying like, do drop shipping or ecom, this and that, like, to earn 10 grand. Like, it doesn't usually work like that. If people are selling online courses to make money online, the only person that usually makes money is them. So like, try and do like a normal job.
And learn on YouTube. Like, learn to do it on YouTube. Anyway, very good.
Well, yes.
How hard is it being away and together 24/7 with your partner? No, I think you've either got a relationship that will withstand that, or you won't. Don't get me wrong, like, me and Gaz are quite similar personalities. We're both loud, we're both fiery, so we do squabble a lot, like in funny ways. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of our TikToks that have gone viral because we love a squabble, but like, that's just because that's who we are. We speak our mind. Obviously, there's like.
I also have my I just interrupted you then. Sorry, I realised I'd done that now. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, obviously we have our problems where obviously you're kind of lonely, but we then stay in hostels so that we can go and try and make friends with people. If we do end up going on like a drinking night out, we generally split away from each other and I'll join like one group. Like we're in the same group, but we'll just be in different conversations. We're not like
we don't really know what to speak to each other about these days, do we?
What?
I'm joking.
But yeah, it's tough. It is tough. You've got to remember that if you're a couple thinking of doing what we're doing, you are in each other's necks. Like you constantly with each other.
But also, this is where my point. This is what I was going to say a second. So I obviously do a lot of MMA and martial arts training, Thai boxing, jiu-jitsu. So like I usually go for a couple of hours a day. Abby goes to the gym or on runs and stuff. So like, yeah, if you do have a hobby, like I don't know, badminton or something or whatever, then try and do your hobby as well when you're traveling, because it keeps you healthy as well, keeps you interested,
and
also like we have our own time to go and do our individual hobbies as well.
Yeah. What is your next destination? So we're here now. Actually, a funny story about this room. I'll quickly show you in a second because we've already got the camera set up.
Jesus.
But we are currently in Malaysia. So
I forgot where we was for a moment.
We're in Kuala Lumpur. So straight after Vietnam, we flew back to the UK for a month to see friends and family. Absolutely epic. Like, loved seeing everyone. It was probably the busiest month of our lives. Like, by the end, we were so exhausted, but it was amazing. Social battery was at -1,000 because obviously everyone wants to see you. And then we've just flown back out to Malaysia / Kuala Lumpur like 2 days ago. So our videos that are coming out now are going to be quite real time for now, which is not, normally we're like a month behind.
Yeah.
So
we've got like, usually we start building up, don't we? Building up like videos, and we'll have a little rest and keep editing and stuff.
Yeah. So we're in Malaysia for like about 4 weeks. We head to Singapore, and then we think we're going to have a week empty maybe before we go to Bali to stay for a little bit and do some work. So if anyone's got any ideas of where we should go after Singapore...
Well, there's just the two options, pretty much, isn't it? Number one's Borneo, and then number two is to get the ferry to Sumatra and work our way down to Bali. So they're kind of our... Yeah. There are two options, aren't they?
Maybe,
realistically.
Depends on how much time we'd spend making our way around Malaysia. But if you've got any suggestions or like, we'd love to hear from you guys. So what do you want to see in that final week? Or do you want to just hang around here a bit more? Or yeah, any suggestions for Malaysia, Singapore, end of this trip, let us know. But that's our next 6-week plans.
It is.
That's exciting. And then...
is that the end of the questions?
That is the end. I just wanted to ask as well, I always want your feedback on these question and answers. Do you guys like them? Would you prefer a different style, like where we're answering these questions, like different areas when we're like going for coffees and stuff?
I think this is loaded though, because anyone who's got to the end will probably like it. Do you get what I mean? I should have asked at
the beginning, shouldn't I?
But
any feedback you guys have got on this setup, we just like it because it's like sit down chatty. Imagine like you sitting across from us now and we're just chatting.
Do it in a swimming pool. If you want us to do it in a swimming pool, if you prefer us to, I don't know.
Yeah, we like this setup because it feels like we're speaking to you as a friend across the table, basically. But let us know if it's not that engaging or how you would want us to set this out.
They probably would want you to stop talking over me for a start.
You just did that to me then. Oh, God. Right, anyway, yeah. Feedback in the comments. Hope you've enjoyed this question and answer. We'll see you in Malaysia. We loved Vietnam. Anything else to add? Yeah, my back hurts because we're sitting on a bed in this room. No, you need to show the toilet. Bathroom, yeah. So, just to show you here, this is the privacy in our hostel, right? So here's the bed. Wait, Abby's in the bed. Wait, let me flip this around so I can see it. There we go. And then this is where the bathroom is, okay? Just there's the toilet. No wall, nothing. So yeah, we will we'll leave that to your imagination. But anyway, bye.